And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Cheap Ludes, and I am back with my tier list series for the month of May. So before we get started, let's get some parameters out of the way. Number one, I'm only doing primary position point guards. Anybody who's a shooting guard slash point guard, shooting guard, etc., slash whatever, it doesn't matter, or small forward slash point guard or something like that will show up over on that list. It's just easier to do in primary position because then I have to start determining where somebody would play those cards, and that's just so up for debate. I'd rather just go off primary position. I know a lot of people ask why I do that, especially in regards to the small forward tier list, because it's the weakest position in my team. Why don't you just do guys who everyone uses as small forwards? That's too subjective. It's just easier to do it this way. So you will notice that Allen Iverson is in this list, and he is a primary position shooting guard. I accidentally put him in the wrong file, so he's just here hanging out. He's observing. He's not going to be ranked. He will be ranked over on the shooting guard tier list, though, which I'll be doing next, so check that out. S tier, unquestionable best cards in the game. You guys probably have a good idea as to who's going to be up here. I'll be honest, I don't think any of the S tier guys are shocking anyone this time. A tier, just a shade under S tier. Maybe they have one issue or one small tiny little problem that would stop the majority of the player base from determining they're the best cards in the game at this point, which I'll touch on for every card I put in A tier. B tier, mid tier guys, they're incredibly good, obviously not as good as S or A tier, but majority of squads could improve by upgrading from a C or a D tier guy with one of these B tier guys. And you might not agree with the B tier guys. B tier is usually my most divisive positioning, just because there'll be a guy in C tier that you probably like a lot, but maybe I don't think that he deserves to be in B tier because he's not as universally usable or something of that nature. Because C tier is more of a specialist tier, guys that some players are going to be incredibly good with, and for certain situations probably better than some of the B tier guys, but for the majority of player bases, like I said, I try to do both gens as well, so it's kind of tough to differentiate between B and C tier sometimes, but I will clarify. D tier, most of these cards are either outdated or they have a few very glaring issues, and like I said, I'll clarify once I get there. F tier guys, you have to upgrade. If you're using any of these guys at this point, you have to upgrade it, realistically. And obviously trash tier guys that no matter what you should be upgrading. Maybe you're doing some sort of theme team or something, that's why you're using them, but there's no other reason you'd be using these cards. So let's get started with our first card, Baron Davis. Trash tier. Let's be real, he wasn't even really that good when he came out in Season 3, and it is now Season 7, and Season 7 is even about to end at this point, so I would put him in trash tier. I really do think that there's rubies that are better than Baron Davis at this point. Okay, I'm tripping a little bit. That may not necessarily be the case, but there's a lot of cards better than this card. He's got a slower release. His badge count isn't terrible, but it's not good. I don't know. Maybe I overhate this Baron Davis card, though. I will say, just because I was so disappointed in it when it came out, so he might move up to F tier at some point, but for now I'm going to keep him in trash. Obvious S tier is LeBron. I've been playing around with him, and usually, like I've said before in all my videos, I don't typically get high tier LeBron cards because they cost way too much MT, but I just happened to draw this one. And I've played with him on current and next gen, and I gotta say I don't really like him on current gen, but on next gen I think he's great. But that could just be a personal experience. Either way, he's an S tier card. He's massive. His player build is super wide. He's got a quick jump shot. Some of the best dunk animations in the game. He's big enough to play defense on, guys I'm not going to say the names, but guys that you'll run into later on this list, while still being able to score on other point guards as well. And he can score on those guys too. It's a LeBron card that plays point guard. Plus he's basically a 99 overall card. Ooh, I'm drinking sarsaparilla. What you know about that? I know, it sounds like a very old-timey drink. It is. Bob Sura. I can't put Bob Sura any lower than C tier. I will say he's probably going to end up on the bottom of C tier, possibly even D tier, but realistically, I'm not going to do my boy Bob like that. I can't. Chris Paul, I mean C tier. I think maybe D tier. He is small, but he's still really good. He plays good defense. He has great steal animations. Like, there's reasons to use this Chris Paul. And certain people are going to be nasty with this card. That's just how it is. Same with this one. I mean, they're basically the same card. There's not much to say there. Clem Haskins, he's D tier. Like, he's definitely way better than Baron Davis. That's a fact. Can I say for certain he's better than Bob Sura? Nah, I can't. Colin, I'd put Colin in D tier as well. I mean, he came out back in season... Was he season 5? He might even been season 4. I can't even remember. I think it was season 4. Either way, a long time ago. Definitely past his prime, but he's still not F tier by any means. This one, though, I'd put him in F. Nothing wrong with him. I like Colin Sexton this year. He's been really good. It's just we haven't got an updated card in a while. This was season 5, and like this card already was worse than this one when it came out, so not much you can do. Grant Hill. I'd put him in A tier. I was saying that I thought Nicholas Batum might be better than Grant Hill when he came out, but I've played with both since, and they're either the same or Grant Hill's better. Nicholas Batum is a primary position center, by the way, so he will not be showing up on this list, but if he were to show up, I think I would have Grant Hill ranked a little bit ahead of him, whether he be in A tier or upper B tier. They're very similar in player build. They're pretty similar in play style as well. I think Grant Hill still deserves to be in A tier, though. Like, he's still a very good card in this game. This game, yeah, I'd put him in trash tier. He plays 0 defense, and realistically, you can get cards that are better than him offensively, that bring you more defensively. Yeah, like Clem Haskins. Clem Haskins is better than that Damien Lillard defensively, and better than him offensively. And he's an amethyst from a set that came out an entire season ago. So, they really did Dame dirty this year, man. I got a few Dames coming. This one I would put in D tier, though. He plays a little bit better. Yeah, should I put him in D tier? He's definitely better than this one. Like, I hate this one. And he's definitely better. I can't say he's that much worse than Colin Sexton, realistically. Yeah, no, he's not. And I would put this Dame in C tier. Like, we got a Dark Matter Dame, and I don't know what it is, man. But on next gen, he is so sluggish. So slow. Playing with him on current gen, he's not that bad. Like, he's not that slow. He's still sluggish, though, but it's not nearly as bad as next gen. I don't know what's going up with him on next gen, but he feels literally slower than 7-footers. I don't know what it is. On current gen, he's not too terrible. Even with all the defensive badges, though, for whatever reason, like, Dame just doesn't play defense. With all the stats, all the badges, with all the Tendo glitch, he still doesn't steal the ball for some reason. I don't know, this card's just so disappointing, because I thought we were going to get, like, a really good Damian Lillard card, and I was excited about it, because if you guys watched this channel back when I was able to get this Damian Lillard, I think around season 3. Yeah, it was around season 3. I was so hyped on this card. Like, I used him as my starting point guard. I loved this card. Even though he played no defense, it didn't matter to me. So this card really bummed me out when I finally earned it. I think he's probably towards the top of C tier, all said and done, but, like, man, it just bummed me out. This John Wall, I'd put him in, like, D tier. He's good. Like, I like this John Wall a lot. His badge count is solid. He's not much different than the John Wall that we got from, what was it, the original Spotlight Sims? Yeah. He's not too much different, like, realistically. A little worse on the badge count, a little worse on the stats, and that's about it. Oh, his hot zones are a little worse, too. He's not bad by any means, and he's got John Wall base on quick, which I actually like quite a bit. He's got 98 speed, too. I mean, he's not terrible. It just really depends on where I place the other John Wall. Like, that's going to be, like, the big thing there. It just kind of depends, I guess. The other John Wall's definitely better, so I'd put John Wall here for now. I mean, honestly, though, I might even use him. I'll drop Bob Sura. Realistically, like, I would probably use this John Wall as quickly as I'd use Bob Sura at this point. Mike Conley. I don't like Mike Conley, but is he really that much worse than Chris Paul? No. Like, not at all. White Chocolate is the best card in C tier thus far. No question. I'm almost tempted to put him in B tier, but I think that's just me standing Jason Williams a little bit too much. Like, I saw DBG made an entire rant video about Jason White Chocolate Williams being the worst dark matter in this game. First off, he's not even the worst dark matter in C tier right now. Like, Damien Lillard is no question worse than Jason White Chocolate Williams. Like, Jason Williams moves really nice. He plays better defense. He steals the ball more. His jump shot is better. Like, he's not even the worst dark matter in this tier, and I'm like 15 cards in. Sorry, that video just made me mad. Larry Legend, he's slow, and I don't particularly like him at point guard, but I will say I would use him over all the guys in C tier. Yeah, I would. He's not terrible, by the way. This card is a really good value for what he brings you. He can defend guys like Grant Hill, LeBron, and some of the other guys that we'll get later. He's a little slow for that, I will say, but like size-wise, he can do it. And he's not a terrible point guard. He's really not. He's so middle, like B tier. That's where he should belong. And that's where he's going to go. D-Lo, I mean, I don't know. He's subject to move down to C tier, but I think he is actually better than all the C tier guys at this point. He's a little bit bigger. He's a little bit faster. He plays a little better, and I think his jump shot's a little bit better. Darius Garland, I mean, I would put him in D tier. I don't think he's F tier. He's still pretty good. I'd put him like towards the bottom of D tier. Like, I'm ranking them within the tiers, and I think John Wall, Bob Sura, Colin, Clem, Dame, Darius Garland. And you might be thinking, like, what? Why is Clem Haskins above Damian Lillard? He's a better defender, and offensively, they're basically the same. I would be willing to say he's better than Colin, too, personally. I just like this Clem a lot. Darren Collison, he's just a little bit small, but, I mean, he's kind of a wash for Colin Sexton. Like, Sexton's a better dunker for sure, but Collison's better everywhere else. Just depends what you value, but I still think they both deserve to be an F tier. Magic. Look, I'll be honest, I overvalue Magic Johnson sometimes, and I can admit that. So, take me putting him at the bottom of B tier for what it's worth. I still think with Magic's player build, he deserves to be up here, and he can shoot. On current gen, he does have the little trot animation thing, but a lot of cards do have it, especially a lot of point guards, so I don't know. I will admit that I overvalue Magic Johnson. So, take his ranking in B tier how you will. But I think he does deserve to be up here. De'Aaron Fox, I don't think he's quite good enough to get into B tier. I mean, it's been a couple seasons since it came out. I would still use him over Damian Lillard, but I'd definitely use White Chocolate over him, though. No joke. D-Cuz. D-Cuz is just an updated Chris Webber. Like, that's really all this card is. He's not bad, like, at all. He's really not. Just like Chris Webber, though, I truly believe he plays better at the small forward position. Like, at the small forward position, I think he's actually really good. At the point guard, I'm not entirely sure. He reminds me of that point guard Blake Griffin that we got last year, because I swore he played better at small forward as well. 95 speed's not terrible. He can run your offense. It's just like, it just feels weird. And it could just be an out of position thing where I haven't played around with the card enough. Because I bought it. I just don't know, like, if I should have done that. But he feels better at the small forward. But it could legitimately just be a personal preference thing. I'm not sure. But I think B tier makes sense for him. You could argue he's better than Grant Hill for your team. I just think that at the point guard position, Grant Hill's a better card. It's just me, though. Schroeder. I really don't like this Schroeder card. If you like him and you want to argue he deserves to be in D tier, I'll agree, but from a lot of these rankings are going to be personal preference to a certain extent. Like, I'm not saying I try to be as unbiased as possible, but like, Dennis Schroeder is top of F tier or bottom of D tier. I prefer to put him at the top of F tier. I don't know. Dennis Smith Jr., I actually love this card, and I am not ashamed to say that. I'll put him in D tier, I don't care. Don Bussy. I know it's Bussy, I just like saying Bussy. I mean, whatever, dude, D tier, I guess. Like, these guys are better than him. They're better versions of what he does. Don Ole's a B still. I would put him in C tier. I like him better than Chris Paul and Mike Conley for sure. Mark Price, it's another one of those personal preference things. I hate this card. I really do. I can't. You know what? He's not as bad as those guys down there. Yeah, he is. He definitely is. I think Dame's the best out of these three. But, yeah, trash. Moutier. Yeah, where's De'Aaron Fox? Like right there. I know there's going to be... Moutier just strikes me as one of those cards that like people have stand over, so someone's going to be upset he's not in B tier. I'm sorry, I don't see it for the entire player base, okay? I'm trying. Luka. B. I put him in B. I don't think he's quite A tier anymore. Once we get a new Luka card, though, he will be probably S tier, realistically. I don't know. We're starting to get literal 7-foot-tall point guards at this point, so I don't even know what to say about that. Yeah, Yuta, sorry, DBG stands F tier. He's a 5'9" point guard. No. No. Fat Lever. Fat Lever's a beast, but I still think, like, yeah, C tier would be appropriate for him at this point. I don't think he's really B tier. Kobe, I would put Kobe in B tier as well. Kobe Bryant himself, just with his SIGs and his animations, just doesn't play well at the point guard position, which is a problem for a lot of these out-of-position cards. Obviously, aside from the fake ones, like LeBron, they juiced him up to play like a point guard, if that makes sense. They didn't really juice Kobe up to play like a point guard. He doesn't really have the dribble SIGs necessary to create his own shot. Excellent catch and shoot release, but shooting off the dribble, I'm not a huge fan of Kobe's release, so that's kind of how I feel about it. If he could play a shooting guard, I think I would put him actually in A tier. Like if he was point guard / shooting guard, I think I would put him in A tier realistically, but or even small forward would be fine. But power forward is no good. Even if he was primary position power forward and he worked for that limited run, I'd be higher on the card. Frank Nicolita. It's tough for me to not put this card in B tier, and I'm only putting him in C tier because of his hot zones. If he had better hot zones, I guarantee he'd be up in B tier because he's a beast. Fred Brown, D. Where's Don Bussy? Yeah, like right there. Fred, sorry bro. D tier. They need to give him a new card. Dark Matter Magic, I would put him in A tier. The reason I won't put him in S tier is strictly because of his jump shot. I personally like it, and I actually enjoy Magic's jump shot this year. But I know a lot of people do not, and for that reason I don't think he's going to be an S tier card. He's not an unquestionable best card in the game for a lot of people, because a lot of people aren't going to be able to use his jump shot. There's just really there's nothing around that. Like, that's just how it is. I'm probably going to go buy this card. I've played around with it. I've obviously used this Magic like crazy. His jump shot is definitely better than this one, for sure. Like, I like it a lot more. But a lot of the player base is not going to be able to use it. Let's be real. Token Market Gary Payton. I would put him in C tier for his defensive animations alone, but I think he's worse than both the Pauls and Mike Conley, just because they're better offensive cards. They can shoot a lot better. Gary Payton still has great defensive animations, though, which is why I will take his card, and I will pluck it into A tier. I'm ready for the hate comments to come in, because I have Luka down in B tier and Gary Payton up in A tier, but, like, Gary Payton is so good. He's literally so good. He has the best defensive animations in the game, as far as for point guards. Like, there's no question about it. He's got a really good jump shot on both gens. Like, cross console, he's fire. Like, there's no question about it. I think he's actually better on next gen, personally. He's got all the dribble moves that you would need. Realistically, John Wall's base on very quick is a tad bit slow for a very quick release, but it's very easy to time. 94 three-pointer. There's not really much this card can't do. He can even rebound pretty decent. He doesn't really need any badges except Hoff blinders. He has every defensive badge and every playmaking badge. The thing people harp on is that he's 6'4". He does have a 6'7" wingspan. I really do think, like, he is better than a lot of these cards in B tier. For your personal playstyle, like, you might prefer someone like Kobe. You might prefer someone like DeMarcus Cousins, but I think with Gary Payton's intangibles, it puts him into A tier. Now, he's probably going to drop down to B tier at some point, so I don't even know why I'm trying to defend my decision, but I truly believe this, and I think a lot of people, if they picked up Gary Payton, would be surprised by how good this card really is. And just because he's 6'4", a lot of people will not pick this card up because they'll be busy trying to get like a DeMarcus Cousins so they can try to guard LeBron, not knowing that since they nerfed post hooks, like, you can guard LeBron with a Gary Payton. You can. It can happen. I promise. It's not going to be like guaranteed, but it can happen. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's Giannis. He plays point guard and he can shoot threes. Like, I don't need to go into detail. He's 7 foot tall, plays point guard, and has upper 90s speed. It's stupid. He's better than LeBron. He's dumb. There's a reason he's 1.5 million. Isaiah Thomas, he's better than Yuta. F. Hal Greer. Dude, Hal Greer is actually pretty good. Like, I would put him above Dame. I actually think he's better than Dame. He's better than Moutier. Shumpert. Shumpert's Shumpert. I like him a lot, but C tier. Steve Nash. I like Steve Nash, but he's probably like Lord of D tier. That makes sense. Same with Trae Young. I'd probably put him over here, Lord of D tier. Bonga. I'd put Bonga over in D tier because of his size and his jump shot, but not much else. RJ Hampton I'd put in like F. Isaiah Thomas I'd probably throw in trash. He was good when he came out though, but that was a long time ago. Jamal Murray I'd probably throw in D tier as well. He's just getting a little outdated. Jason Terry, I would throw him in C tier. Like, he's not good and he's small, but like personally I might use this John Wall over him. I might. So I'm almost considering moving John Wall. John Wall is the best card in D tier by a pretty large margin. Yeah, I'm gonna throw John Wall up here. I like John Wall this year. Like, it is what it is. Chris Webber. I'm almost tempted to put Chris Webber in B tier, but I just feel like I'm valuing height a little bit too much at that point because he deserves to be there. Height or not, he's a very good card. I can't say he's that much worse than DeMarcus Cousins. So like Magic and D'Angelo Russell probably deserve to be like, and honestly Larry Bird too, deserve to be like on the lower end of B tier, but they're up there. Jameer Nelson, sorry bud, trash. Ja Morant. Yeah, this one's not going to go over well, but I truly believe that Ja Morant, even though he is a smaller point guard, deserves to be ahead of all the guys in C tier. Like, he is good. He's very good. He dunks over pretty much everybody. And as far as guys that are known more offensively than defensively, he's better than everyone else, in my opinion. He's better than D'Lo. Eric Bledsoe, D. Andre Miller, really, really good facilitator, and he plays good defense, but his jump shot is ugly, man. It's greenable, though. It's actually not that bad this year. Last year, it was way worse. Jason Kidd, I have talked up this card before, but there's too many cards now. He's trashed here. Jeremy Lin. It's Jeremy Lin. I can't put him in D tier. I can't. I can't do it. He's going to be the last card in C tier, and that's just because I'm a huge Jeremy Lin fan, and I cannot drop him to D tier. There's no possible way for me to do that. Jerry West. Once again, another card I don't think people are going to agree with at all, but like, Jerry West is really good. He's really good. Like, Jerry West is not bad. He's really good offensively. He plays great defense. Like, he's small. He's 6'2", but he has a 6'9" wingspan. So he's got huge Skeletor arms. He's wet. His jump shot is really good this year. Especially on very quick. Like, this dude's jump shot is wet. 97.3. I wish he could dunk a little harder, but I mean, it's Jerry West. You know, you expect it. The 90 ball handle is probably one of his only issues. He'll probably drop down to C tier, but I do want to give him his props for a little bit and let him hang out in B tier for a second. Rod Strickland. Yeah, I mean, Rod's alright, whatever. Steph Curry. Those of you that are good with Steph Curry are going to think he's B tier, borderline A tier, but for the majority of the player base, he is great offensively and brings absolutely nothing defensively to your team. I would say with confidence that Jerry West is a better card. Joakim. I mean, he's a mountain of a man, but that's about all you're getting from him. But I'd put him in bottom of D tier just for that. Tony Parker. I mean, I don't know, dude. Where's Fred VanVleet? Yeah, somewhere over here. He's alright. Big Russ. He's not good. At this stage, like, I put him in F tier. This John Wall. he's better, and I would put him towards the top of C tier. Like, I like this card a lot still. I might be overhyping him a lot as well, because I used him for a long period of time. He's still usable, though. John Stockton, D. He's better than Andre Miller. Ben Simmons. I don't quite think... Yeah, I mean, he's C tier because he's Ben Simmons. He can't shoot threes, but he's still, like, massive. It's really hard to argue against somebody who's this fast and this big. Like, can I say confidently he's a whole tier worse than Jason White Chocolate Williams? No, I can't. Yeah, this Ben Simmons is S tier. Realistically, you can kind of shift these guys around however you see fit. They're all three like demigods, and they are better than every card in the game. So how you want to rank those three is on you. I would probably rank them like this, personally. I would say Giannis number 1, Ben Simmons number 2, LeBron number 3. But like I said, you could rank them any which way you want. It doesn't really matter. Drew Holiday. Yeah, where's Chris Paul at? Right there. Killian Hayes. Where's RJ Barrett? Right there. Halliburton. I think is still B tier. Like, he's still good. I'm not as high on him as a lot of other YouTubers are, but he's still a very good budget card, and I think B tier makes sense. My boy Pooh. Yeah, I would say C tier. Fully evoed up. Free Pooh is definitely C tier. He's good. This Russ, yeah, same thing. Rubio, I mean, where's Stockton? D tier. Captain Kirk. C tier. He has to be C tier. It's Kirk Heinrich. I'm not putting him any lower. He's got base 22. He's a beast. Anthony Simons, top of D tier. I actually like this card a lot, but I can't put him on the same tier as Kirk. That's just not right. Caruso's a beast. I honestly am considering putting him up in B tier. I might drop Steph. I really don't like Steph. Kyle Lowry. Yeah, C tier somewhere. Where's Chris Paul? Right there. Boom. Kyrie, same thing. Put him over in C tier. Still usable, but definitely getting outdated. Plays a great defense, though. Same with this guy. Lonzo, I'd put him over here, like Drew Holiday-ish area. That makes sense. Moutier would be actually a pretty appropriate comparison, him and Shumpert. This Lonzo Ball, I think, is A tier, but probably the lower end of A tier. I think he is better than Gary Payton, though. All things considered, I think that's the case. Starberry, I'd put him towards the top of C tier. He's just like a way better Derrick Rose. Louis Dampier. I mean, yeah, he's C tier. The mustache alone gets him C tier. He's not good, though. But he's not good. Chris Paul, Kyle Lowry area would be Louis Dampier. This Magic Johnson, yeah, he's not good. Height alone, if I have Joakim here, I mean, bottom of D tier, sure. Big Russ, where's John Morant? Yeah, B tier. Lockdown defense, kind of a stocky player build, dunks on everybody. Makes sense. This Derrick Rose, D. Dinwiddie, I would put him in C as well. Where's Moutier, Lonzo Ball, Shumpert? They're all like the same. Darren Williams, I think, is good enough still to be in C tier. In that Chris Paul, Kyle Lowry, Louis Dampier area. Pretty similar, comparable cards. Brogdon, I would put Brogdon in that Shumpert, Dinwiddie, Lonzo Ball, Moutier area. All around the same height, all do kind of the same things. All around the same badge count. Good cards overall, though. Markelle Fultz, yeah, Yuta Tabusa area. Like, in no way, shape, or form can I say Markelle Fultz is as usable as Pink Diamond John Stockton. Like, it's not true. Michael Adams, for as much as he looks like Avon Barksdale from The Wire, and you know I'm down with an Avon vibe, I've always kind of wanted one myself. Yeah, he's a 5'10" shooting guards, or point guard, so I'd put him by Louis Dampier. I mean, badge count-wise, he's still good. He's got a good jump shot. That's it. Dark Matter Pooh. Where's Stephon Marbury? Yeah, right here. He's up there. I mean, I personally prefer John Wall, but that's conjecture. Nasty Nate. Where's Isaiah Thomas? Yeah, right there. Big O. He's definitely outdated, but I'd put him in D tier. He's better than all the F tier guys. This Penny, yeah, trash tier. Terry Rozier, he dunks hard and shoots, so like, where's Tony Parker? He's like over there somewhere. That makes sense. Opal Penny's still a beast. I would put him towards the top of B tier, personally. I really would. I put like D-Cuz up here. Luka, Penny, Kobe, and DeMarcus Cousins are like the top of B tier. And then you could probably argue everyone else, realistically. Rafer Alston, I will say, if he still had Tracy McGrady base, or, well, Trey Burke base, I would put him in B tier, but because he has Kemba Walker base for some reason instead, like, his diamond card had Trey Burke base, which made him really good. He still has those electrically, like, I was going to say electrically good for some reason, but he has those incredible steal animations, but that Kemba Walker base is not Trey Burke base. If he had Trey Burke base, I would put him in B tier, but for that reason, I'm going to drop him to, like, mid C tier. I'd put him Hal Greer area. Yeah, that makes total sense. Rondo. Rondo's top. Top of C tier, I think. Rondo's a beast, dude. He's so good. Ron Harper. Harper's still B tier, I think. Yeah, I would put him in B tier. For sure. Big body, plays excellent defense. He can shoot and stuff, too. Good card overall. Sam Cassell. Yeah, I mean, higher up in D tier. Smush. Yeah, I mean, that Trey Burke base keeps him out of F. Spud. Yeah, I mean, Spud Webb. This Steph Curry. Wait, I didn't even mean to keep him in there. Yeah, this Steph Curry sucks. Trash tier. Stevie Franchise. I mean, I don't know, dude. We're Stockton. Yeah, go over there. Doesn't matter. This Steve Francis, I would put him towards the top of C tier. There was John Wall. He's actually pretty good. Vlade Divac. I mean, he's huge. He can shoot. He moves pretty decent. I mean, he is like 7 feet tall, basically. He's a tough card to rank because he's kind of fat, so I don't really think he necessarily deserves to go, like, I don't know if he deserves to go into B tier. I really don't. Like, he's really tough to rank. I mean, he's just so big, though. Like, he really is. He's so fat. I don't mean to keep harking on the guy. I'm sure he's nice and everything, but he's got bad hot zones. He's got 35 Hoff badges, though. The release is not great. Like, set shot 16. It's the same one Greg Oden has. I mean, he's basically upper 90s in every category with pretty much every badge you'd want him to have. The only thing he's really missing is, like, clutch shooter and deadeye and blinders. So I don't really think I can keep him out of B tier necessarily, just because of his size and what he brings at the point guard position. But I will say that I don't like this card, and I would put him towards the bottom of B tier, and I probably would never use him. Like, for me personally, I would use a lot of the guys in C tier over Vlade Divac as my point guard. But like I said, I try not to be biased with these lists. And I can definitely see the benefit of having a 7-foot guy running point guard that can shoot, facilitate, and run the floor pretty well. So 90 speed with ball, and he's massive too, like at 7'1". He's Joakim Noah with a usable jump shot and good shooting badges. It's really, and he's got like a wide player build too, so it's like really hard to argue against that. I don't think any of the guys in C tier really offer that, except Ben Simmons, and he literally cannot shoot. So, and then regular Steph, I'd throw him in C tier as well. Now, Allen Iverson, like if I were to rank this invincible Allen Iverson, I'd probably throw him in B tier because no one's running this dude at shooting guard anyway. Why not? We'll just throw him in B tier. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Anyways, that is the point guard tier list. It has been your boy Cheap Lude. Sorry, my throat's kind of messed up, so I sounded weird this video. I'm not as jubilant. Is that the word? I'm trying to think. It's a play on Jubilee. I don't know what word it is. I'm not as excited as I normally am. Dude, I'm exhausted. Anyways, I will be back tomorrow with the shooting guard tier list, so check that out. Check the description for all my stuff, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.